Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Starblast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the AF Toys Omega Shenron, aka, I'm probably going to butcher the name right here, CHAO Long. AF Toys CHAO Long. So, this is a third-party company that has made themselves an Omega Shenron, and so I figured it's going to go pick this up. You can see me in the reflection right there on the top of the box. How you guys doing? So yeah, we're gonna go over a little bit of the box right now. Usually I tend to go quickly over, but we actually have some stuff to talk about. So right over here on the front of the box, we actually have a little bit of some art right there, which for this Omega Shenron, I'm just gonna call it that because I'm not gonna say it's the actual product's name. It's Omega Shenron. This right here, the packaging is a little bit misleading, and it's because this part right here shows that it is the like the version of Omega Shenron that's in Dragon Ball Heroes, I believe. So that's actually really interesting, but you know, we don't have any version of that like that with the actual packaging, so that's a little bit strange. So there's actually two versions of this figure as shown with the box, but this was a little bit misleading. So right here we clearly see Sin Shenron right before he got all the Dragon Balls on his chest, and we don't actually get him with the actual figure. It's just a separate version of him, which they have on the packaging for whichever reason, and I kind of find that to be a little bit misleading. On the side of the box right here, we see Omega Shenron, and then right here, it's a blurred out image, which I believe these are the Irwin toys or the Jax Nova and Ice Shenron. Could this be them going and hinting at the fact that they could be making some of these figures in the future to go with this one? Who knows? Who knows? We also got some other stuff right here. We have him holding a Dragon Ball, even though he's not going to come with a Dragon. He doesn't come with that Dragon Ball at all with the accessories. And here he is with the shot of him going and stepping on the. I believe it's either the Jax or the Irwin toy Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm not too familiar. And then right here we also got some other poses with the Sin Shenron and the Omega Shenron, all in one thing, and Dragon Balls that you don't actually come with. You actually come with a different pair of Dragon Balls, which we'll go over with the in the review in a little bit later. But other than that, looking at the bottom, it's Sin Shenron. It's a little bit misleading, but it is what it is. It's a third-party company. So, anyways, without any further ado, let's get this guy out of the box and see what we get in this figure. Alright, so now that we have the figure out of the box, I gotta go ahead and say that there is so much with this figure that actually came out incredibly well. Definitely really well. And I can imagine that if Shfiguarts were to go and make their own version of Omega Shenron, that a lot of the engineering on this figure would actually be something that they would include on their copy as well. A lot of the articulation and the sculpting of this figure is really impressive. The horns of which they go and intricate with a lot of the articulation is really just fantastic. I'm really impressed by a lot of this figure. However, the figure does come with a lot of brights, and that does in fact come with the accessories. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the accessories, just to get them out of the way right now, just because we really don't have anything for the figure of which we consider as accessories, and it is just the Black Star Dragon Balls right over here. I'm not even gonna take them out of the box. They're just they're right over here. All of them, they all got the stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars on each and every single one of them, and that's really all it is for the accessories. We don't have any sorts of fists or anything else to go with that. What we have with the figure, in terms of the hands and the faces, this is all we get. And normally I wouldn't be too overly critical with figures like this that sort of have this problem, but right here it sort of has to be acknowledged as a little bit of an issue because of the fact that this figure goes for $75 right now on Omnistore, which is where I bought this figure. And frankly speaking, just the way that the art, just for the price point that this figure is at, I feel like he should have come with a lot more accessories, definitely a lot more accessories. Maybe some facial expressions or some other hand parts of which to go with the figure, because it doesn't exactly give you all of the posability you would want to go and have Omega Shenron put in. But other than that, there's definitely a lot of great things to have with this figure, and that comes with the articulation. So let's get into the articulation right now. The head on this figure looks this far up. It looks really, really far up, despite his really bulky sculpt, and I definitely like how they integrated the articulation into this. He does go ahead and look down, like, actually this far normally, but you can get him to look down a little bit thanks to this mechanic right here on his back, which makes his whole upper, his whole upper area up, like, right here, just, like, move up, which I actually think is really, really smart engineering. Definitely some really high-quality stuff. And as for the neck, you can get him, like, looking to the side and everything because of the fact that the peg is going straight into the head right there. And as for the arms, so you can move the arms a full 360 degrees. They do go out just a little bit like that. I'd say that's fairly enough for as big of a guy he is. He's got a upper arm swivel right there. He's got double jointed elbows, and here we have one small issue that I do have with the articulation. Although right here it's not as noticeable, we do get it. This sort of issue with the legs as well. It's just like the way that they cut the articulation into here looks really unnatural. And, you know, I get the fact that there's that you get some more dynamic poses and reach right here, but this just looks really ugly. I feel like they definitely could have put some better, they could have handled the articulation a little bit better in the elbow area, definitely. So as for the hands, like both of the hands right here, they have like they have a swivel and a hinge, so where you can bring it in like that, and specifically just on this hand, you can actually move the fingers inward. So if you wanted to sort of like have a form of like fist or whatever to have him like to have on this Omega Shenron, you can kind of, I guess, make that work. But I don't know, it doesn't look as much like a fist as, I mean, obviously you have this fist right here. If they could have just made it so that like you have an option of this fist for like both like arms, and then have this one like for both arms for both arms as well. Like, I feel like that would have been the perfect sort of, like, gimmicks to have with the hands. You really need, like, as much, like, else with the Omega Shenron because it's, you know, it's a third-party company. You do your job, however, I feel like it would have sufficed quite well. So, as for the torso, he can move, like, this far forward. Not really too far, but, you know, it's not the worst. You can, and moving him back, it pretty much gets him, like, looking straight up right there. Not like there. You can sort of like tilt the thing very minimally, like around right there, and you do have a very lackluster waist swivel. I feel like that could be a little bit better. So as for the legs, you can get the legs like kicking up forward, but it does sort of move off to the side when you go and kick him out, and you can't really move it back at all. But you can get the legs to go, and he does the perfect splits. Perfect splits with this guy. You just would not expect that on figures like this. They always catch you off guard. So we do have an upper thigh swivel right there. You also got a double jointed knees, and yeah, it's just like what I was talking about. These knees, they don't look really good at all when you go and bend them in. You're definitely not going to want to have them posed with their like that all the way. You can probably pull it off just like this if you have him like stepping on a rock or something, but you don't want to go all the way. You don't want to bend the knees all the way. Otherwise, you're going to have a gigantic cavity. So as right here for the ankles, you have some really tight and minimal ankle articulation right there. Definitely what I feel like is the biggest problem with the articulation out of all of them in terms of the range. I feel like if this articulation was a little bit better, it would be able, the figure in general would be a lot more stable in a lot of different poses. And so yeah, other than the ankle articulation, you do get some toe pivot right there, which, you know, you get on your usual standard like SH Figuarts figures anyway. So yeah, other than a couple of gripes, I'd say that the articulation is handled overall like fairly well, but does have a little bit of problems with the figure in general. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video right here. I just figured out something with the figure that I definitely think is a huge problem that I should have gone over a little bit more in the articulation section. But one of the main problems with the actual head that really is so frustrating is the fact that you really can't get this guy looking left or right on the figure, and because of that, it really prevents him from it really prevents you from putting him in a lot of different poses of which he would normally be able to get into. But because of the way that they designed the head, no, he can't look left or right at all. I thought that this joint right here would actually go and help him like look left and right, you know, the special thing on the neck, but no, it's really not. And that's one of the things that's frustrating about this figure. So in terms of the articulation, for the rest of the remainder of the video, just know that this part right here actually takes away a lot of the overall experience of posing the figure around, and definitely I think is a huge problem. But other than that, let's continue on with the rest of the review. Now, in terms of the actual sculpt, if we're going to look at this Omega Shenron, one of the problems that I'm sure you guys have seen already is the way that his eyes look. The way that they handle the face could definitely have been better. It's not as accurate because the way, I think the main problem what we have right here is actually the eyes. Like it's definitely got to be the eyes. It's just, they just look really big and derpy. Now, if you have the figure like sort of posed like that, right on there, then he does look, I feel, a little bit better, but you know, it's not as noticeable when you have him posed like that. But just the overall face with the eyes is definitely a bit of a problem. And you just, like, don't get me wrong, it has some problems, but it definitely works as, you know, Omega Shenron overall. And I definitely think that this has a lot of, you know, issues with the price, but it also has a little bit to give you a little bit of what you're paying for. You know, so other than that, let's get out some quick size comparisons. If I can get this guy standing. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with getting this guy to stand because of the ankles. So get him standing. Get him standing. Come on. There you go. So for height comparison, here's the Omega Shenron right next to the Dragon Star Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the SH Figuarts event exclusive Kid Goku, and the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. And definitely one of the things I feel is the strongest point of the figure is just how well he actually scales along with the rest of the SH Figuarts figures in the line, as well as Dragon Stars too. Like there's a bunch of reason to go and pick this guy up. If you really want an Omega Shenron, like, he definitely goes and scales with the rest of the other figures, and that's something that I really like about this thing. And for some other size comparisons, here's the Omega Shenron right next to the Figurized Super Saiyan 4 Goku, as well as the Figurized Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You know, the Figurized figures may be a little bit taller than the Figuarts figures, but I feel like Omega Shenron does in fact fit with this line as well, just because he's tall enough to really work with a lot of different photo shoots and or some overall scaling and whatever. Really not going to be that noticeable if like he's maybe like a head taller, considering he's such a big figure already. Definitely works with that as well. And for some other comparisons, and in case you guys were curious as to how this Omega Shenron scales with some of the bigger SH Figuarts figures in the line, here we have the SH Figuarts King Piccolo, the SH Figuarts Super Buu, and the SH Figuarts Full Power Dragon Ball Super version of Broly. So guys, that has been the review of the AF Toys Omega Shenron. It is definitely not the best figure, but it is certainly not the worst. There is a lot of good that comes from this figure overall, especially when you consider that this is made by a third-party company. And for a lot of Dragon Ball third-party companies, a lot of them can sometimes vary in terms of the quality. But this one right here, he has a lot of sturdy joints. He's really well articulated, and I definitely got to commend them that they made this guy, despite him being a third-party, he still feels a lot like a Figuarts figure overall. Actually, I'd go and say he also somewhat feels a little bit like a maybe Marvel Legend or something. But yeah, other than that, in terms of whether or not I would recommend this figure, if you're just a casual collector of the SH Figuarts line and you see this pop up in your feed, or if you see this guy discounted, okay, well, if you see this guy discounted, I mean, you probably want to pick it up. But other than all those different reasons, you probably would not want to get this guy and probably put the $75 into something else. But you know, if you love GT and you're into the Figuarts line, you've always wanted to have an Omega Shenron to go and scale with your Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Figurized or Dragon Stars or whichever, then yeah, I would suggest go ahead and getting this guy and picking him up. But at the end of the day, the figure is $75, and whether or not you want to go and decide to spend that is really all up to you at the end of the day. So hopefully this video did inform you guys of everything that this figure has, you know, all the flaws, all of the good, and everything that is mixed together. Guys, I do plan on going and releasing a 6,000 subscriber video. I want to thank you guys so much for helping me reach that milestone. I'm so grateful to have you guys as a wonderful community here on the channel. You guys are fantastic. So I will have a video regarding that very soon. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading as much on the channel lately. I say this every time, and honestly, like I do continuously like been having like this problem of going and not really uploading and going ghost for a while, but this time I'll definitely try to be a little bit more active on the channel. And before I go ahead and continue to ramble on and be a broken record about my upload schedule, whatever, do go ahead and follow me on my social media. The links will be down below. You follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Starblast Studios. I'll see you guys in the comment section. Until then.